Hello there, very good evening and welcome to the News Tonight, where we get you the day's top stories. I'm Tracy Shilshi and here are the headlines. Supreme Court expected to deliver the verdict on disproportionate assets case against VK Sasikala tomorrow. The AIADMK chief says she's confident that justice will prevail. Campaigning ends for phase 2 of UP Assembly polls with a series of political rallies by all parties. 67 Assembly constituencies in 11 districts to vote on Wednesday. China joins the US, Japan and South Korea in condemning North Korea's missile test. Nuclear-capable missile test fired by Pyongyang on Sunday can travel between 3,000 to 5,500 kilometers. And Team India continues its unbeaten streak in test matches, defeats Bangladesh by 208 runs in one-off test at Hyderabad. Skipper Virat Kohli becomes the first Indian to win 8 test series in a row. Our top story, the Supreme Court is expected to deliver its verdict on the disproportionate assets case against AIADMK chief VK Sasikala. The verdict is expected to pave the way for the floor test to decide her claim to the chief minister's post in Tamil Nadu. However, if the court convicts her, Sasikala will not be able to press her claim. Media reports also said that Attorney General Mukul Rohatgi had advised Governor Vidyasagar Rao to conduct a floor test at the earliest. He reportedly advised Rao to convene an emergency assembly session. In an emotional address to the media and a gathering of her supporters late this evening, Sasikala said that she was confident that justice will prevail. She asserted that everybody can watch what we do as a party under my leadership, quote-unquote. Well, earlier the caretaker Chief Minister O. Pannirselvam attended office after a gap of almost a week since the crisis broke in the AIADMK, rallying, meanwhile rallying her supporters. A defiant Sasikala called Pannirselvam's attempt to continue in the Chief Minister's post an act of betrayal, asserting that she wasn't scared. Sasikala said that for the past 33 years, she and her mentor, the late Jayalalitha, had seen everything. Here's a roundup of the day's events. AIADMK General Secretary Sasikala organizing a show of strength before the media on Monday. Addressing her supporters outside her Poise Garden residence in Chennai, she said attempts to divide the party will not succeed. The Sasikala faction has dismissed allegations that none of her supporter MLAs were being held hostage by her.
Madam VK Sasikala will 100% become the Chief Minister of Tamil Nadu. I think all the MLAs have formally supported Chinnamma. In a state apparatus, I think that is what is important. Mr. OPS can create a media circus, can do all the kinds of tactics to drum up social media emotion. But Tamil Nadu people deserve a decisive, strong leader who will take Madam's legacy forward, and Chinnamma is the right person.
Earlier, Tamil Nadu Chief Minister O. Pannirselvam reached the State Secretariat, where he held talks with senior officials. Incidentally, DMK Working President M.K. Stalin also reached the Secretariat ahead of him, sparking speculation of a possible meeting between them. It was Pannirselvam's first visit to the Secretariat after his resignation on the 5th of February. The caretaker Chief Minister has dismissed suggestions that administration in the state had come to a standstill due to the political crisis, claiming that he was meeting officials daily.
No, you can't say it as a shortage of MLAs, because the MLAs are all trapped in a resort. They should be set free. If they are set free, they will surely support our Chief Minister.
Despite the growing delay in initiating the process to form the next government, Sasikala and her supporter MLAs maintained that chances of Governor Vidyasagar Rao inviting her are high.
The rift is within. When the rift is within the party, what is the role of the opposition parties in it? I understand all these things. See, this is just they want to save their face. They are blaming on the other parties.
In growing support for Pannirselvam, 6 more AIADMK MPs joined his camp on Sunday, taking the number of parliamentarians in his favour to 11. On Monday, the Madras High Court reserved orders on petitions relating to the alleged illegal detention of 2 MLAs at a resort where legislators supporting AIADMK General Secretary V.K. Sasikala are housed.
The Sasikala faction accuses the DMK and some external forces from New Delhi of brewing dissent within the party. Meanwhile, the OPS camp is holding hectic parleys to garner more support. But in this squabble for the chief ministership, it is the state of Tamil Nadu which is suffering from governance deficit and has been pushed to the brink of political instability. Reporting from Chennai with camera person Sudhanshu, I'm Kriti Mishra for Rajya Sabha Television.
Well, Kriti Mishra is in fact joining us now live from Chennai. Kriti, we do understand that the past hour, a couple of hours or so has been pretty dramatic as far as the V.K. Sasikala camp is concerned. We understand she is at that resort with all her MLAs and she is reportedly going to be spending the night there as well.
Well, that's right, Tracy. The political turmoil in Tamil Nadu could take a sharp way tomorrow given the fact that the Supreme Court will pronounce the verdict in disproportionate assets case against Sasikala. If she is convicted, it's the end of the game for her. She cannot contest elections for the next 6 years. And she may try to plant some proxy candidate. On the other hand, if acquittal comes her way, then there's going to be a massive show of strength. Of course, she's going to camp tonight at a Golden Bay Resort with her MLAs, giving pep talk to them. She said that the truth would emerge victorious. Meanwhile, Tracy, we're also getting report that one more legislator has actually oscillated towards Paneer Selvam and one more parliamentarian is also expected to join ranks with him. So, of course, the political thriller would reach its crescendo tomorrow in Tamil Nadu. Tracy?
Absolutely, absolutely. And when, at the moment, of course, like you're pointing out as well, she may have to name a proxy chief minister if at all she is, of course, convicted in those charges, that disproportionate assets case, a verdict of which will be out tomorrow. Are there names that are coming out from there, or is that still a very far away possibility and they've not thought about that as yet?
Well, earlier also speculation was rife that if she is not accepted among the rank and file of the party, then she might come up with some kind of proxy candidate. But as of now, we are not hearing any name particularly. But Sasikala, of course, there are several issues staring at her face right now. She is very infamously known as Maran Gudi Mafia in Chennai. There have been several allegations of corruption against her. So she, of course, has to battle all that to actually emerge victorious and to get the legacy of Jayalalitha and prove her majority on the floor of the House. Tracy?
All right, we leave it there for now. Kriti, thanks so much for joining us. I don't envy your position because we never know what's going to happen through the night. If we see more people, in fact, diverting towards the Paneer Selvam camp or not. But thanks so much for joining us for the moment. We'll be back, of course, with you tomorrow for more updates on this particular story. With that, let's get you the latest now from the ongoing Assembly elections in Verdict 2017. All right, let's start with Uttar Pradesh, where campaigning for the phase 2 of the Assembly polls ended this evening. 67 Assembly constituencies in 11 districts will vote on Wednesday. In the last Assembly polls, the ruling Samajwadi Party had won 34 seats, followed by the BSP on 18 seats, the BJP in 10, and Congress in 3, and of course the others got 2 seats. Important seats in this phase are Saharanpur, Bijnor, Moradabad, Amroha, Pilibhit and Badaयूं. 64% voter turnout was recorded in the first phase of these elections on Saturday. Campaigning for the Uttarakhand Assembly seats will also ended today. 69 seats in the state will vote in a single phase on the 15th of February. Meanwhile, the Election Commission has postponed elections for 1 seat each in Uttarakhand and Uttar Pradesh following the death of candidates in UP's Alapur constituency and the BSP candidate from Karnaprayag district. According to the law, a political party is given time to field a new candidate if a candidate passes away, and polling is fixed for a new date. So the new dates will be announced later. And political bigwigs were in Uttar Pradesh on Monday as they tried their best to woo voters before the second phase of polls on Wednesday. Prime Minister Narendra Modi was in Lakhimpur Kheri district addressing voters there. He termed the Samajwadi Party Congress alliance as a desperate attempt to stay in power. And he said that since the ruling SP had got a wake-up call in the 2014 Lok Sabha elections, the party had turned to the Congress. Meanwhile, Congress Vice President Rahul Gandhi was also in the district to address a rally. He launched a scathing attack on the Prime Minister, saying that it was evident that Narendra Modi was preparing to lose in the state. Rahul Gandhi also attacked the Prime Minister on the issue of demonetization and black money. He also addressed a rally in Bijnor. Uttar Pradesh Chief Minister Akhilesh Yadav, meanwhile, addressed rallies on Monday, one in fact in Moradabad, where the UP Chief Minister once again targeted the Prime Minister over demonetization, saying that the Prime Minister just made a fool out of the people. He also said that BJP does not have any chief ministerial face, and that in fact shows that the BJP is not interested in making a government in Uttar Pradesh. He also targeted BSP Chief Mayawati, saying that she was only interested in constructing party symbols across the state and has no concern for development. In another rally at Badaयूं, Akhilesh Yadav said that if the Samajwadi Party was re-elected to power, then the youth will be admitted to police force without an examination. Meanwhile, BSP Supremo Mayawati also addressed rallies in Unnao and Etawah on Monday. She attacked both the BJP and the Samajwadi Party, saying that under the ruling government, the state witnessed deteriorating law and order, adding that many atrocities on Dalits went unnoticed. On the BJP, the BSP Supremo said that the party had no plans for development of the backward classes and said that they were interested in ending reservations for Dalits and the backward classes.
प्रदेश की वर्तमान सपा सरकार में यहाँ शुरू से ही अराजक, आपराधिक, सांप्रदायिक, भ्रष्ट व जंगल राज ही व्याप्त रहा है, जिसकी खास वजह से ही यहाँ पूरे प्रदेश में चोरी, डकैती, लूटमार, फिरौती, हत्या, अपहरण, नया उत्पीड़न, गुंडा टैक्स, सरेआम गुंडागर्दी, जमीनों पर जबरन अवैध कब्जे तथा सांप्रदायिक दंगे व तनाव आदि की घटनाएं काफी ज्यादा चरम सीमा पर ही होती रही।
And here's a look at the other election-related developments in Polpuri. The Indo-Nepal border points in Nepal's Kanchanpur district will remain closed due to assembly elections in Uttar Pradesh and Uttarakhand to avert any untoward incident during the polls. The second phase of Uttar Pradesh assembly polls will be held on the 15th of February. The assembly polls in Uttarakhand will also be held on the same day. The Election Commission today took cognizance of reports on conduct of exit polls by an organization and its publication by a daily, saying that it is in violation of the poll laws as assembly polls are still on. A commission spokesperson said that the report has been sought from Chief Electoral Officer of Uttar Pradesh on the issue. Using powers under the Representation of the People's Act, the poll panel had banned exit polls to ensure that its results do not influence voters. Elections to Alapur constituency in Uttar Pradesh has been postponed following the death of Samajwadi Party candidate Chandrasekhar Kanojia. He passed away after suffering a heart attack during election campaigning in Ambedkar Nagar. The polls were to be held on the 27th of February and the new date will be announced later. On to more national news, and Minister of State for Home Affairs Kiran Rijiju took on the Congress today by claiming that Hindu population in the country was reducing as they never convert people, quote unquote. Rijiju posted a series of tweets along with a screen grab of a news report that quoted the Arunachal Pradesh Congress Committee as saying that the Narendra Modi-led BJP government is trying to convert Arunachal Pradesh into a Hindu state. Accusing the Congress of making provocative statements, Rijiju then tweeted, and I quote, "Hindu population is reducing in India because Hindus never convert people, but minorities in India are flourishing unlike some countries around." Defending his statement, Rijiju later clarified that it wasn't him, but the Congress who was making provocative statements and claimed that Arunachal was a peaceful state.
Minorities are very safe in India. That is why they take refuge in India. India is a very tolerant country. Why are Congress people saying something which is so irresponsible? How can Modi ji convert Arunachal as a Hindu state? What kind of statement is this?
And here are more updates from across the country in Nationwide. The Supreme Court has cancelled the admission process of more than 500 students who enrolled in the 5-year MBBS course in Madhya Pradesh between 2008 to 2012. The top court also dismissed all the petitions filed by the students. The admissions had been obtained through unfair means under what has now come to be known as the Vyapam scam. The Supreme Court today began the hearing the view of Attorney General Mukul Rohatgi on a petition filed by senior Congress leader Jairam Ramesh challenging the decision to treat Aadhaar bill as a money bill. The bill was passed during the budget session in March last year, overruling amendments moved in Rajya Sabha. The AG told the court that the Speaker's decision on any legislative procedure can never be questioned by court. Calcutta High Court Judge Justice C.S. Karnan today failed to appear before the Supreme Court in connection with the suo motu contempt proceedings initiated against him. At today's hearing, the bench took on record the recent controversial letter written by Justice Karnan to the Registrar General of the Supreme Court on the 10th of February. Justice Karnan claimed that he was victimized for being a Dalit and this matter was to be referred to Parliament. The Bandh called by Nagaland Tribes Action Committee Kohima and Joint Coordination Committee demanding Nagaland Chief Minister T.R. Zeliang's resignation affected normal life today across Nagaland. Vehicles were off roads while people stayed indoors. Business establishments, educational institutions and government offices, including the State Civil Secretariat and the Assembly Secretariat, were closed. The Department of Personnel and Training warned that central government employees found misusing the leave travel concession will face disciplinary action. As per fresh guidelines by the DOPT, employees are required to submit a declaration that they have indeed travelled up to the declared place of visit. The declaration is required in cases where a person travels on LTC up to the nearest airport, railway station or bus terminal by authorized mode of transport and undertakes the rest of the journey to the declared place of visit by private transport or own arrangement. Without a quick break, more news follows in a bit. Stay with us.
It's election time again. Voters in 5 states gear up to cast their votes. Catch all the action in Verdict 2017, Monday to Friday on Rajya Sabha television.
Welcome back. Let's get you some international news now. And China joined the US, Japan and South Korea in condemning North Korea's latest missile test. In fact, the missile was test fired on Sunday under the supervision of North Korean leader Kim Jong-un. The missile, called Pukguksong-2, is nuclear capable, which typically travels from 3,000 to 5,500 kilometers. Beijing said that North Korea's launch activities were in violation of the United Nations Security Council resolutions. Russia's foreign ministry also spoke out against the test, the first since US President Donald Trump's inauguration. Russia and China were both members of the six-party talks, a diplomatic attempt to curb North Korea's nuclear program that began in 2003 along with the US, Japan and North and South Korea. The UNSC has ordered a meeting on an urgent basis at the request of the US, South Korea and Japan.
금년에 최초로 감행한 탄도미사일 발사로서 유엔 안보리 관련 결의에 대한 노골적이고 명백한 위반일 뿐만 아니라 한반도 및 국제사회 전체의 평화와 안전에 대한 엄중한 위협인 바 정부는 이를 강력히 규탄한다.
Was the President of the United States sending a powerful and unmistakable signal to North Korea and to the entire world as he stood shoulder to shoulder with the Prime Minister of Japan and declared our steadfast and unwavering support for that alliance, and the meaning of that symbolism will be lost on no one. The message is that we are going to reinforce and strengthen our vital alliances in the Pacific region as part of our strategy to deter and prevent the increasing hostility that we've seen in recent years from the North Korean regime.
North Korea must fully comply with the relevant UN Security Council resolutions. During the summit meeting that I had with President Trump, he assured me that the United States will always with Japan 100%.
Nearly 200,000 people have been evacuated from several northern California counties after damage to a spillway at the Oroville Dam. The dam, which is the nation's tallest, remains intact, but the emergency spillway, which helps to ensure that the water does not rush to the top of the dam when the levels are high, is eroding. The damage prompted a mandatory evacuation for cities and counties near Lake Oroville amid fears that it could endanger communities living downstream. Water levels in the reservoir had risen following heavy rain and snow after years of severe drought. About 150 miles northeast of San Francisco, Lake Oroville is one of California's largest man-made lakes, and it is the first time that Lake Oroville has experienced such an emergency in the dam's near 50-year history.
We're dealing with some soil erosion that is taking place on the emergency spillway. That is why we have upped the we've increased the release of water over the main spillway to 100,000 CFS, so we didn't have any more water coming over the top of the emergency spillway. That is the goal.
And here are more international news updates in Global Buzz. At least 10 people, including 2 cops, were killed and several others injured in an explosion on Monday near Punjab Assembly in Lahore, Pakistan. The blast occurred when a suicide bomber blew himself up during a protest rally outside the building. State police say that it was a suicide attack and the bomber targeted the police personnel present in the location. The U.S. National Weather Service has said a major winter storm is expected to dump 8 to 16 inches of snow on parts of the U.S. Northeast today. Authorities have sent storm warnings from New York to northern Maine. The weather might disrupt travel and result in delays and cancellations of flights. Coastal New England could experience flooding and widespread windy conditions with potential gusts greater than 80 kilometers per hour expected as far west as the Central Appalachians and Mid-Atlantic region. Thousands of Romanians gathered outside the government headquarters in Bucharest and other cities to protest against the Social Democrat government who tried to weaken a crackdown on corruption earlier this month. The one-month-old cabinet of the Prime Minister enraged public opinion when it approved an emergency decree that would have decriminalized several graft offences. While the turnout has fallen since last Sunday, rallies have continued throughout the week, with protesters demanding the resignation of a government they say they cannot trust. According to a UN report, 18 civilians, mostly women and children, were killed last week in air raids by NATO forces in Afghanistan's Helmand province. The UN in fact said that the strikes had been conducted by international military forces, but only US aircraft have been involved in recent coalition strikes. However, the Afghan officials and local residents have given a different toll of 22 civilians killed during the joint operation carried out by US and Afghan forces. All right, now let's get you some cricket news. And India defeated Bangladesh by 208 runs in the one-off test at Hyderabad today, extending their unbeaten streak to 19 matches in tests and 20 at home. Chasing a target of 459, the visitors were bundled out for 250 just before tea on the final day. Bangladesh resumed their second innings at the overnight score of 103 for 3 and were hoping to survive the final day, but some excellent bowling from the Indian spinners saw them lose their last 7 remaining wickets without much resistance. R. Ashwin and Ravindra Jadeja both picked 4 wickets each in Bangladesh's second innings, while Ishant Sharma chipped in with 2 crucial dismissals. Virat Kohli was adjudged man of the match for his double century in the first innings. India, remember, had declared their second innings at 159 for 4 after bundling out Bangladesh for 388. In the first innings, the hosts had posted a mammoth 687 for 6. The win was India's 6th successive series victory.
Everyone at the international level wants to do well. You know, it's as simple as that. And we are playing as a team. I think that's been the difference in this team. If you see, you can say probably 2016, you know, I've scored a lot of runs, but before that 2015 as well, we won test matches where I didn't score many runs, but the other guys were stepping up and scoring runs. So, you know, their confidence was rubbing off on me. That's how you play as a team.
And India grabbed another cricket victory. That and more updates in Sports Beat. India defeated Pakistan by 9 wickets to win the T20 Blind World Cup in Bengaluru on Sunday. Batting first, Pakistan scored 197 for 8 in their 20 overs. Defending champions India, however, chased down the target in the 18th over with the loss of just 1 wicket. Opener Prakash Jairamaiah scored an unbeaten 99 to put India on course for the title. With a win, India successfully defended the title they had won in 2012. Switzerland progressed to the Fed Cup semi-finals after beating France 3-1 in Geneva. The tie was poised at 1-1 after Saturday's rubber, but Switzerland's Timi Baksinski and Belinda Bencic recorded crucial wins to take their country in the last 4 for the second straight year. Premier League leaders Chelsea were held to a 1-1 draw at Burnley on Sunday. The Blues opened the scoring through Pedro in the 7th minute. However, the home side equalised through a stunning free kick from Robbie Brady. Despite the draw, Chelsea are at top, 10 points clear of Arsenal and Tottenham Hotspurs. American Jordan Spieth won the AT&T Pebble Beach Pro-Am by 4 shots to lift his 9th PGA Tour title. The two-time major winner carded a 2-under par 70 to finish on 19 under. Spieth is the second youngest player to reach the landmark after Tiger Woods. That's all we have here in the news tonight from the entire team here. Good night.